Happening right now, the New York Jets general manager is holding a press conference in Florham Park, New Jersey. Let's go to it now.
Have they told you anything? Can you let us know who they're thinking?
I mean, I'd say the team sort of builds around like the offensive line and defensive line. So maybe like a guy like Paris Johnson or Broderick Jones to build around the O-line.
Joe Rex, you hearing that?
Yeah, like it, Kyle.
Yeah. On top of the philosophy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Any other questions?
Thank God.
Thanks, Kyle.
Good luck, Kyle.
Good job, man.
Thank you.
Joe?
Yep. All right, guys, thanks for coming. You know, as excited as we all are, last week was a tough week for our football family, and just want to talk about, give our condolences, our love and support to two families within our family here, One Jets Drive. You know, we lost a great teammate in Matt Capagrosso. He was an unbelievable teammate, humble, hardworking, selfless, a great person, and largely responsible for our scouting system, which I feel is one of, if not the best, in the National Football League. So our love, support, condolences goes out to his family, his beautiful wife Courtney, his twins, and also want to pour out our condolences, our love to Brian Friedman and his wife Diane, who tragically lost their son. And you know, we love them and support them with anything, any issues they have going forward. And you know, just wanted to tell them we love you and we got your back through everything. So on that note, I'll just open it up to you guys and we can get going.
Joe, obviously did a little bit of news yesterday. I wondered if we could talk about the trade and how it came together and your thoughts.
Yeah. Obviously, a long time in the making. And, you know, I'll piggyback a little bit on what Brian said yesterday. There's still some I's to be dotted, T's to be crossed to ultimately finalize everything. But again, it was a lot of conversations with Brian. Again, a ton of respect for Brian. I've known Brian for well over 20 years, and you know, I can't thank him enough for you know, the open dialogue that we've had, and you know, ultimately being able to get, you know, what we feel is a historic trade for this franchise.
What led you guys to Aaron? Because there were a number of different quarterbacks you could have pursued this offseason. So what made him stick out above the rest?
I mean, obviously, Aaron's one of the best quarterbacks to ever play this game, and to have an opportunity to add a player of that caliber, you're always gonna look into it and how it fits within our culture, within our team, and you know, obviously, it goes back to something I said to you guys in Phoenix. It's a real credit to Robert, his staff, and what he's been able to implement with our players and with everyone here, that a player of Aaron's caliber would even want to come here. And so, you know, we're all excited to add someone of his character and his ability.
What was the reaction around the? Joe, has Aaron given you any indication that he'll play beyond 2023?
Look, I don't want to put any words in Aaron's mouth, and you guys are going to have the opportunity at the right time to ask him those specific questions. But we're obviously excited about this opportunity, excited about this deal, and excited to add him to the team.
Joe, what was the reaction around the building, Robert, ownership, you know, when it finally was agreed upon?
Obviously excitement, obviously a lot of joy. And, I can speak to upstairs where we were with football ops, and I feel like all the scouts, all the coaches were, you know, there was some high fives and hugs and a lot of excitement.
Joe, what are your expectations now for this football team now that you've brought in Rodgers?
Look, I mean, obviously adding a player of his caliber is a big thing, but ultimately we still have a lot of work to do to get to where we need to go, and you know, the biggest thing in front of us right now is this year's draft, and it's a great opportunity to add young dynamic playmakers to this roster, and you know, again, we've got it's been unbelievable seeing the work that's been going on out here with our players coming together and showing up and getting together at these voluntary workouts. You can feel a lot of positive energy in the building.
Joe, last year was kind of down year by Aaron Rodgers standards. Still a pretty good year, I think, by anyone else. But what makes you think, and through your scouting process of Aaron, what makes you believe that he still is, you know, a guy who is a top 5, top 10, maybe top 3 quarterback in the NFL?
I mean, well, obviously he's not very far removed from back-to-back MVPs. You know, you still have someone that maybe didn't play at 100% throughout the year, but still performed at a high level. And you know, obviously, he's going to be able to come in here, and his relationship with Nathaniel, his relationship with some of the other players that are on the team, we feel like, you know, it's obviously it's an adjustment when you're somewhere for 18 years, but feel like with the people that we have in place, he can get comfortable quickly.
Joe, do you expect him to be part of the all-season program in which he is going forward?
You know, again, I'd say I wouldn't want to put any words into Aaron's mouth, as we know all of these workouts right now this time of year are voluntary. So again, at the right time, you guys will be able to talk to him about that.
Sorry about that. A significant compensation package you're sending to Green Bay. I mean, probably be at number 1 next year. You're hoping that he plays that much. Could you just some risk involved if he only plays a year? Could you just walk us through like the risk management there and why you felt it was you know, good to give up that much?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we're comfortable with how this deal's shaped. You know, in any negotiation, you know, I don't think anyone ever walks away from a negotiation where you feel like you want everything in terms of what's gone back and forth. But ultimately, you know, our goal from the beginning was to add Aaron to the team, and so we were able to get that. Agreed to terms to that yesterday, and just excited to get him here ASAP.
Do you guys believe that you guys were going to get him? I mean, because you had the trip out to California that you guys went on. I mean, was there a point where it was like, oh, this is an option to know this is a realistic possibility we're going to get him?
Yeah, I think you never want to get too far ahead of yourself, and so really, you felt honored back. What was it, a few weeks ago, when he said he wanted to be a New York Jet. You felt honored, and you felt good that, you know, look, like what I said a few minutes ago about what Robert's been able to do here, that a player like Aaron Rodgers wants to be here. But you don't want to get too far ahead of yourself. It's not done till it's done. And again, guys, it's, you know, we still have to officially cross the finish line here. But obviously we've agreed to the terms, so we're all excited.
So was there ever a point that you were thinking you might have to turn to a plan B, or did you always believe this was going to happen?
We felt no different than when we talked in Arizona. We felt really good with our plan moving forward, and we did feel good about our plan involving Aaron.
Joe, when you add somebody of Aaron Rodgers' caliber, his notoriety, you're obviously going to be more attention on this team, a lot of more national TV games, primetime games, things like that. Like, how ready do you think? You have a lot of young players, you know, a lot of guys that played big roles as rookies last year. So how ready do you think this group is to handle that added attention, added pressure, all of that?
Well, you're right, Zach. There is quite a few young, talented, exciting players on this roster that are first, second, third-year players. So, look, I feel like the way we jumped out last year, a lot of those young men proved that they were ready to answer the call. So obviously, I talked about it in Phoenix. No one's happy with the way we finished last year, and so to see the group of guys that are out there right now working and gelling together. It's very apparent that they're not satisfied with the way the season ended last year either. So again, it's good to see these guys out here, and I know it's cliche, but day by day we're just trying to stack those bricks.
Joe, I know you made this deal for Aaron and getting him in, but was there any consideration to what it could mean for Zach? They seem to have a great relationship already, and have you get any indication that Aaron wants to mentor Zach?
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be a great thing for Zach, and I've spoke to you guys at the combine, and Zach's ceiling is unlimited, and no one works harder, no one loves ball more than Zach Wilson, and him having the opportunity to really shadow and be with a first ballot Hall of Fame quarterback every day, every hour he's in the building. That's a great opportunity and a great experience.
Joe, just how do you follow last year's draft? Because, I mean, obviously you accumulated a lot of talent. You have the offensive and defensive rookie of the year. So just talk about the process and, what do you see from this year's draft?
Yeah, I mean, really, last year's draft was a real credit to our scouting staff, our coaching staff, being able to get on the same page. Rex does a phenomenal job heading up our scouting department, and that's a real credit to everyone working together, and a credit to the players. Those guys last year came in with the mindset, the mentality, the competitive drive. Great people, great teammates, and they were able to make a big mark. But last year's draft is last year, and so our focus is moving forward, and we appreciate everything that happened last year, but we know that we have a big challenge coming up in a few days, and we need to keep adding the right type of people and character to this team.
To follow up on that, just the offensive line, like how would you assess just the guys in the trenches that are available?
You want to talk a little bit about the O-line?
Yeah, I mean, not specifically to any players, but it's a solid group with some of the guys who've been projected up in not only the first round but throughout the draft. So there's a good volume of players throughout.
Joe, when you first got here, just to come on out the line, one of the first things you said was you were going to address the offensive line, defensive lines. Where do you feel like you guys are offensive line wise right now?
You're right, and it's never going to stop being that way here. I think we have a really good culture in place on this team, and there is a standard in terms of the effort, strain, and violence that our line needs to play with, and we're gonna take every opportunity that we can to add those type of players when they come available. I don't think I'm ever going to sit here and tell you, Brian, that I'm satisfied with where we are on the offense or defensive line. I don't think I'm ever going to say that to you because I feel like we're always going to be able to get a little bit better. But yeah, it's always going to be a strong focus for us.
Joe, before the final steps of the last couple of final steps of the Rodgers to get across the finish line, and I'm assuming he's coming in today for his physical, and then there's just some contract work. Maybe you can just outline what needs to be done to make it official.
Well, look, we're still working through some details, and again, I'm just going to piggyback what Brian said. There's a few things that need to get worked out, ironed out, but we'll have all that information for you guys in due time.
Joe, when kind of a little bit on that same note though, but before, when Aaron was still with the Packers, he signed a pretty legitimate extension there, a contract extension, which you guys have now inherited with the trade. Has Aaron been open with your discussions with him to reworking that contract to potentially make it a little more team-friendly, anything like that?
Yeah, there's been some positive discussions with Dave. Again, I'm not going to get into any specifics about the details on that. That's going to come out when everything's finalized, but there's going to be a forum to discuss that in the future.
Take a couple more. What do you think Aaron can mean to a guy like Garrett Wilson and some of your young weapons like Reese and some of the other guys?
I mean, I think anytime you add a player of Aaron's caliber, it's gonna raise the level of everyone. You know, there's going to be a standard that needs to be met, and so I feel like from the beginning when it started hitting the whatever the internet and the stratosphere of this possibly happening, I think everybody their antennas went up. The intent, the focus. I think everybody is going to answer the bell when it comes to meeting that standard, and so it's going to be great to have these first, second, third year players around Aaron and around a lot of the vets that have had success in the league.
Hey Rex, you had a front row seat for Aaron Rodgers being with the Bears. I think you were there for like a decade, right? What perspective can you give people about the man's skill set and what he brings to the table?
Other than ripping out our hearts a few times in Chicago on some plays and some passes and some drives to close out games and keep us from going to the Super Bowl and when Cutler got hurt. But yeah, the guy has obviously great presence and arm talent. His decision making, his timing, and his accuracy as a passer has proven itself over the 18 years. And you're looking at a guy who's been able to perform at a high level and raise expectations for them and carry on what Favre did. And so, you know, obviously he's going to raise our expectations moving forward too.
Joe, what's your message to Jets fans about your ability to get this deal for Rodgers done and your commitment to bringing a winner here?
Well, again, I think it's a credit to Robert. I think it's a credit to Woody and Christopher, the Johnson family, for supporting us through all of this. But you know, there is going to be excitement. There's a lot of things to be excited for with adding Aaron and some of the other pieces that we've added this offseason. And so, look, I mean, there's not going to be any crazy statements or anything like that, you know. But you know, I guarantee that there's going to be a bunch of players that are going to come in, become unified, and really try to rewrite how the story ended last year, and make sure that we're not in that position again.
So what's the latest on Quinn, and when do you hope to get something done with him?
Yeah, still optimistic. You know, I've had a lot of positive discussions with Nicole. And you know, optimistic. I feel like we're trending in a good place. So optimistic and hopeful is how I would describe that.
So you spoke with Aaron since yesterday afternoon when the framework was completed?
You know, I've primarily been speaking with Dave Dunn through this process, but you know, I think it's going to be good to get him here and give him a big hug whenever he gets into town.
Right.
Joe, the pick swap in the first round, I'm not sure when that came to be, but what's it like, you know, you're planning to pick number 13. Do you feel like at 15 you can still get the same caliber player at 13? What was that kind of decision like to agree to the pick swap?
You know, I'd let Rex talk about the board, the caliber player. But in terms of the mechanics of adding that to the deal, that was probably one of the last things that was agreed to in the deal. But I'll let Rex touch on the board and, you know, player at 13 versus 15.
Does your mindset change at all, 13 to 15, or is it just, you know?
No true effect. You know, our board still stays the same. That just we'll continue to follow on the process, and the way we've built the roster, it gives us some flexibility to go whatever direction we want with the player that's available.
I mean, at the end of the day, we needed to have 13 players we were really excited about, and now we have to have 15 players that we're really excited about, and I feel comfortable that we have that.
Did it give you any pause that the Patriots are the 14th pick?
No, not at all.
I think last one when the offseason began, I think a lot of people looked at Corey Davis's contract and assumed he was either going to be cut or he was going to be looped in with the Packers trade or he wasn't going to be on this team this year. Is he going to be on the Jets this coming season? And if so, why do you want to keep him around?
Well,
I mean, not possibly.
Yeah. Well, I mean, when we talk about great teammates, Corey is a great teammate. Corey's selfless. Corey's an unbelievable worker. He's a great professional for some of our young guys to look up to and model their approach, their work ethic to this game. And look, we all know that there's a business aspect of football, but Corey's a valued member of this team and this franchise.
Thanks, everyone.